space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the starship Enterprise. Its 5-year mission, to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilization, to boldly go where no man has gone before.
Hi and welcome back. Gonna go over getting the bussards built and our motor connected into the circuit. So first thing I need to do, notice the shaft doesn't come through all the way, so I need to sand approximately 1 millimetre off the end here, so I need the shaft to stick slightly out. Then next stage, I've made myself a handy little template. The centre I can mark off where my 5 lights are going. The holes need to go half on the inner, half on the outer ring, so there's room for the motor inside. And then before I drill it out, I've made these little clear styrene discs. I need to hot glue it on top as tight as I can, and then sand it down so it's the same size exactly as that. Mark the centre point using the handy hole. I then need to do the same with this part, so it's flush. And I'll put up some pictures of the painting of these. Lots and lots of masking to get all them little lines in place. So, but once that's done, it will all sit just on top of the shaft of the motor with about a 1 millimetre gap. So as the shaft spins, just that will be going round. So once we've got all that to size, I'll get the holes drilled out, ready for the LEDs in this part. And the handy thing, I don't need, because I'm going on to the actual workings, I'm taking bits off the LED, off the board. No point just keeping these now. I might as well get them used up, and the resistors, so I'm not pulling off twice as many resistors from the sheet, so they'll stay together. I've marked up on the AT Tiny which LED goes where by using 5 different coloured wires, so I can take all this out. We'll also go through how I connected to the L293D, so that I'm using just 2 pins from the ATMega instead of the 6 that I should be, to run 2 motors in opposite directions. But I want to get this sanded down, and these bits sanded down first, and get back to you in a bit. Right, so these are sanded down, so they just come really easy apart again, because it's hot glue I've used. And it just peels straight off. Nice and easy. and all the glue's gone. So these pieces will be put to the side for now. So next on here, I need to get my LEDs ready. So mark up over my template. Marker pen, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'll get them holes drilled out. I'll need to finish getting my resistors, my LEDs soldered up. So if you look, I've sanded it flat because I need it, when they go into here, they're going to be sat flush. So I'll get that drilled up. I'll get all my LEDs wired up with resistors. The resistors, because there's obviously not a lot of going to be massive space behind here once the motor's there. So I'm putting the resistors on the other end of the wire. Still do the same job, it just frees up some space. And I'm also getting the wires as close as possible to the bulb without damaging the bulb. Okay, I'll get that done and get back to you. Right, so I've got all my holes drilled. I've got all my LEDs wired up, heat shrink over them ends to protect them. I put some electrician's tape just round the ground just to keep them separate inside the heat shrink, but that'll hold it all together nicely. Resistors at the other end so they're out of the way, and I've labelled what colour they are because once they're fitted it'll be a bit hard to see. So next stage is to fit these in. If you notice, I've put the first letter of all the colours going around the circle. Yesterday that I did goes clockwise, so the LEDs were put in yellow, white, green, red, blue, and it's as they're facing upwards from here, so as they face through. So today I need to make sure that they go yellow, white, green, red, blue. So then when they're running, it'll give the impression that the one I did yesterday is turning clockwise and this one's spinning anti-clockwise. And it's very important, if you're following this, how I've done it on the AT Tiny, that they're in that order. I just hot glue them in, so I'm going to hot glue them all in. Once they're all in, I need to sand down to get it totally flush with this edge. So I'm going to get them all hot glued in, get that sanded down, and then get back to you. So that's all wired up. LEDs are in place. As you can see, both of them are going in opposite directions, one clockwise, one anti-clockwise. I know it looks a mess, nothing I can do about that, how it is. But all into the AT Tiny H5. So the next stage is I need to connect the motor in. So that will push through down. That edge is sticking out. So my next stage is with a little epoxy. I need to stick the round disc onto the end of the shaft. I've cut some little plastic splints so I keep a distance between the two. Need to be careful not to get any of the epoxy onto this piece of plastic, so it'll all run smooth. So I'm going to get that done. It says the one I'm using plastic welder. It sets in about 15 minutes, but I'm going to give it a good hour at least, because I want, it's not a large connection, but I need to make sure that it holds tight. I found with the plastic splints, about 4 or 5 pennies on top puts enough pressure to hold it in place and get the seal. So I'll get that sealed up and get back to you. Right, so the epoxy's dried now. As you can see, that's spinning away. I've just got it hooked up to the battery pack. So next I need to stick my dome on top, and I'll just be using my micro crystal clear for that. I'll get that stuck down now. Right, so that's dry. I've already hooked all the LEDs back in because they're a nightmare to do, and I don't advise doing it this way, but I've done it for demonstration purposes and while we're doing this. So let's get this L293D chip wired up and our motors connected into it. This chip I've got this way, so there's the top button, and like all the other chips, this one counts from the top 1 to 8, then 9 to 16. This chip works, one side does one motor and the other side does the other motor, and the pins work down one end and then mirrored but going back up on the other side. So let's get this cracking. So we start at pin 8 at the bottom is for power. So we then do on the opposite side pin 16 into power. We then have pin 4 is ground, and pin 12 is ground. With motors, it's very important that you run them through a chip like this or through transistors, because of how they draw power, they'll either burn out the pin of the M28 that they on if you try to run straight from there, or they'll burn out the entire M28. So now let's connect our M28 to the L293. So we're running on pin 3, which is for the speed of the motor. We don't actually alter it on our circuit because I'm running on full speed because my motor's calibrated to full speed, and it goes to pin 1 and also and pin 3 also on the other side goes to pin 9. I'm then working on my control pin, and we have it geared up for pin 16 on the M28, and I'm running it to pin 2 on this side, But then on the other side I'm running it to pin 15 because the L293 will change direction of the motor if you want it, and it does it by, on this side it'd be pin 2 and pin 7, one high, one low, and on the other side going up it'd be pin 10 and pin 15, one high, one low. But I want them to go opposite directions, so I've set pin 2, pin 15 both to high. I'm saving a pin from the 3 to 8 because I don't need them to reverse direction. So then we go, our red wire from the motor goes into pin 3 on this side, and pin 11 on the other side. And the black pin goes into pin 6, and on the other side, tied up my wires, it goes into pin 14. Pin 5 and pin 13 are another ground, and we're not using pin 7 and pin 10 as I said earlier. So if we turn this on, it should all run. It'll take about 10 seconds to get through because it's trying to do the entire routine startup first. But hopefully we'll have all the lights and the motors going. Right, sorry about that. I had a loose connection where I'd soldered 2 wires together. Resoldered it, plugged in, both going opposite directions, which is what we want. I've not reconnected it to the LEDs. It's false. Dangerous of causing shorts how it's all in there, so I'm not going to mess about doing that again. But you can see how it works. Seeing how to wire up the L293D. Hope you found this helpful. This is how I've got my bussards to work. And I think that's about it for this time. Thanks for watching. Keep trekking, keep modelling, and speak to you all soon. Thank you, bye bye.